You're listening to JFDI with the Two Lauras, the podcast for social media freelancers who want to get more visible, streamline their systems, master their mindset, and make more sales. I'm Laura Moore, and alongside my co-host Laura Davis, we are on a mission to make working as a freelancer easier. Because honestly, working from home shouldn't feel like you're working alone. We believe that relying solely on long-term clients is a big mistake. It means that your bank balance can become capped, it puts your income at risk when a client cancels, and we're on a mission to help you to avoid that retainer trap. And we want to help you to build a more flexible business. That means that you can make more money without working with more retainer clients. If you're worried about being stuck in that retainer trap, the membership is the place to be. Inside, we give you the systems, the training, the support and the accountability to build out new offers that don't mean taking on more long-term clients and more long-term commitments. You get monthly training from world experts in their field, you get coaching and support from us and our incredible community of hundreds of other social media freelancers, and it all works together to make your life even easier. Plus, you also get access to Hubsy, the only software that you need to run your business. So whether you need to send an invoice, schedule your content, manage your email marketing or set up a website or sales page, we have got you covered. Annual membership costs less than £3 a day and all the details are in the description. But for now, let's get on with the show.
So we first recorded a podcast about Threads in 2023 when it had just rolled out. So we thought it was probably worth us revisiting that whole conversation about whether you should be on Threads, or more importantly, whether your clients should be on Threads. And the short answer is probably yes, but let's discuss why. Now, before you switch off thinking, yeah, I know all about Threads, I want to ask you one question. Are you actually using it for your clients? Like properly, actually have strategy behind it? Because the number of social media managers I speak to who know Threads exist, who maybe even have their own account on it, but they aren't actually offering it as a client service. Honestly, there's a lot of you. And I get it. It feels like another platform to learn, another thing to add to the pile, and at some point someone told you it was basically dead and you filed it away. But we're here to tell you it's not dead. It's the opposite of dead. And by the end of this episode, you're going to understand exactly why it's worth your attention right now and what makes it different to every other platform, and the one thing about the Threads algorithm that changes how you'd use it completely. So let's get in. Okay, first up, let's talk about the numbers because they absolutely matter, and they've changed a little bit since 2023 when Threads launched. Most people assumed it would just fizzle out, it would be a nothing platform within 6 months, but it actually now has 400 million monthly active users. And in January of this year, it officially surpassed X in daily mobile users for the first time ever. It's 141.5 million daily users on Threads compared to 125 million on X. So it is not to be ignored. Engagement rates on Threads are also up to 73.6% higher than X. So to put that into context, the average engagement rate across all Instagram accounts sits at somewhere between 0.3 and 0.48%. On Threads, for accounts under 1,000 followers, a good engagement rate is somewhere between 8 and 15. Yep. That's not a mistake. It's a huge difference. And these are numbers that you can absolutely put in front of your clients if they are considering this as a platform. And here's the other thing. Most brands still aren't on Threads, certainly properly. Most of your clients probably aren't either. And Meta started rolling out ads on Threads in early 2026, which means the organic reach window, which is the bit where the algorithm is actively pushing kind of new accounts, that is that growth mode, and that is starting to close. So now they're running ads, they're in that monetization phase. They're starting to obviously move their strategy. So social media marketers who build Threads expertise now, while most people are still sitting on the fence, will have a real advantage than in 12 months' time when that phase of monetization of Threads has rolled out more significantly. So there's a real opportunity there. So as a bit of a refresh, let's just remind ourselves, like, what is Threads? Why is it different to Instagram? And basically, Threads is part of Meta, and it's their text first platform. So you log in via Instagram, you keep your handle, and you pull across your existing followers, post up to 500 characters, I think it is. You can attach images, videos, polls, GIFs, voice notes. Think of what Twitter used to feel like before it became whatever it is now. And it was real conversations between real people. There's less noise. There's more actual back and forth, actual social conversation. It's a place where someone will actually read what you've written before scrolling past. There's no doom scrolling. And the thing I want you to really hear is this: Threads is not Instagram. The vibe is very different. The content is different. The algorithm rewards completely different things. And this is where a lot of social media managers are going wrong on the platform right now. They're treating Threads a bit like a dumping ground for repurposed Instagram captions, scheduling 3 pretty posts a week and wondering why nothing's actually happened. And the brands who are genuinely growing on Threads are doing something completely different. And once you understand how that algorithm works, it will absolutely make sense. So let's go there. These are the things that you need to know about the Threads algorithm that will ultimately change how you use it. So Adam Mosseri, who's head of Threads, also head of Instagram, so you'll have definitely heard of him, said in an interview last year, if you're really trying to grow your presence, you should reply much more than you post. The sum of all your replies is about as valuable as the sum of all of your posts. So listen to that again. The replies you leave on people's threads are worth as much as the posts you publish yourself. This is unlike any other Meta platform. On Instagram, posting is primary signals. On Threads, replying is equally powerful. The time you spend in conversations, engaging with relevant content, jumping into threads, that are already happening in your client's industry. That isn't just community management. It's a whole content strategy in itself. Now, the algorithm ranks posts based on 2 main things: engagement velocity, which is how quickly a post gets those interactions, and the first hour after is critical. And also reply depth, which is whether comments turn into actual conversations rather than just one-liner responses. So like on Instagram, where we're used to people who just go, great post, that won't work on Threads. People are looking for real, or the algorithm, should I say, is looking for real good conversation. So genuine back and forth, that is an absolute boost in that algorithm. It's not passive likes, it's not emoji reactions, it's real replies that actually are going to have an impact. Now, what that means practically is if you're scoping Threads work for a client, the community management piece, that's not an optional, it's not an extra you can bolt on. It's totally part of that kind of mechanism. The scheduling is almost secondary. A client who posts twice a day and has someone actively in the replies will outperform a client who posts 5 times a day with no engagement strategy at all. So build that into your service, price it accordingly, because that time you spend engaging and replying, that obviously isn't free. So you do need to quote accordingly for that. So your content strategy and what's actually kind of working. Here's the bit that surprises people. Threads is widely described as a text first platform. So you would assume text post works best, but the data is actually saying opposite. According to Buffer's 2026 analysis of millions of posts, videos have the highest engagement on Threads at 5.55%. Images come second at 4.55%, and then text posts come a third at 2.79%. Now, it doesn't mean you should be churning out loads of polished video content for every post. That Thread users love that kind of more natural conversational content, and they're genuinely interested in those text posts. So you do need to make sure you get the balance right here. But if you or your client are dismissing video on Threads, you might be leaving the highest performing format completely on the table. So do consider that. But yeah, you have to get that balance right. So for your kind of content pillars, for want of a better phrase, what consistently performs well on Threads is opinion-led posts with a clear stance, something that invites people to agree or disagree, and behind the scenes chat and real kind of talk is doing well. Specific questions rooted in actual experience, not generic, not kind of what do you think prompts. You want to give really good, timely commentary when something happens in a client's industry, or being one of the first people to post with a clear perspective on something in the industry is always going to work well. What actually isn't working is anything that's a bit too much like your marketing deck, any promotional posts that lead with the offer, cross-posted Instagram captions with no adaptation whatsoever. The brands winning on Threads aren't broadcasting, and I think that's the big differentiator here. They're building a point of view, they're inviting people into it, and they're having those conversations. One quick point is hashtags. Threads only support one topic tag per post. So you don't need to be shoving a load of hashtags in your content. Pick the most relevant one and then move on. Okay, so let's get into more of the practical stuff, because I know you might be thinking, oh, great, this sounds brilliant. But how am I going to start charging for it? So let's cover that. You've essentially got a few options depending on where your clients are and what they do and where they're kind of starting from, I guess. A Threads audit is a great way to start. It's just a one-off review of the client's existing presence or an honest assessment of whether they should be on the platform at all, with a clear recommendation. These are going to be nice and easy to scope, easy to sell to existing clients, and it positions you as someone who understands the platform rather than someone who's just adding it onto their list. You could also do a Thread setup strategy as a one-off project. That's the first month, maybe profile optimization, content ideas, a voice guide for the platform, maybe some add on the first batch of content, planned for separately to like retainer work. And obviously you then want to price that to reflect that the strategy is behind that. And then also there's Threads management, your ongoing retainer. Now, I just want to caveat that with saying that clients will need to be really clear here that this isn't just about shoving 3 posts on Threads and walking away. As I've kind of stressed, hopefully, this is all about the conversation. So you're going to want to make sure that your quote and your proposal really reflects that time that you need to invest in the platform in terms of being reactive to those conversations. The clients who we are seeing probably getting the better results from Threads are going to be personal brands, maybe people in thought leadership businesses, consultants, coaches, probably B2B still, although we are seeing lots more B2C on there, but certainly I'm seeing the more opportunity from those kind of businesses as offering that as a retainer service. And I really think that's potentially where Threads really is going to earn you your cash in terms of those retainer clients in those kind of industries, particularly if you're very good at adopting the correct tone of voice. And I really think Threads is a huge opportunity if you're well known within an industry and a niche, because that's going to be great for you to confidently be able to hold conversations about a topic that you've obviously become very aware of and you immerse yourself in. So with Threads having 400 million users, I think it's fair to say that it didn't flop. It wasn't a flash in the pan. It is here. It's to stay. So I definitely think if you discarded it in 2023, maybe now is a good time, because that window of opportunity is still open for those kind of essentially early adopters just before all the ads and monetization in the platform kind of takes over. So, because that won't last forever. So now is a good time to try to build up a little bit of presence on that account. So social media managers who are building those genuine expertise on Threads are really going to have something to be able to shout about, especially when everything tightens with the algorithm, when the ads catches up. And I just wanted to add that the best bit about Threads is that the content format is genuinely so much lighter. You're not filming reel after reel or looking for trending audio. You're not stuck in Canva or Adobe Express for hours and hours. It's just good opinions, good conversation, and someone who is actively up for replying, and that's it. So go have a look at what's happening on there. Go and search maybe in your client's industry so you can put together a proposal for your clients. And obviously, if you want to talk this through, come and jump in our DMs. Let's have a chat, or come and have a chat with us on Threads. We are on there both as individuals and as the two Lauras. So we'd love to hear what you think. We'd also love to know if you are already managing clients on Threads. How are you getting on? Come and talk to us. Give us the tea. We're here to hear all of it. So hopefully we'll speak to you soon. If not, we'll be back in your ears very soon.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of JFDI with the two Lauras. We really hope you enjoyed it. And if you want more support, strategy and systems to run your social media business, consider joining the membership. All the details are at thetwolauras.com/membership, or you can find them in the show notes. Make sure you also follow along on Instagram. We're on there as @the2lauras, and check out our website for loads more advice and support. Thank you so much for being part of our podcast community. We'll see you next time.